So we need to actually write another movie after Sharks. It's kind of pathetic.
Need is a strong word.
So what I was thinking is writing a script is hard, but we love making jokes. So what if we wrote a script that was basically just a spine for nothing but weird jokes?
You have some kind of plot.
No. I'm saying you make something weird enough that all you do is machine gun fire jokes, like fucking people who are dogs and hammers dressed as milkmen and just crazy shit happening. I'm thinking that in the first scene a tomato becomes a pineapple and then tap dances.
You mean just random shit happening?
Oh, jokes. I thought you say jocks.
Well, I've also got...
Why do we have a spine with jocks on there?
I've also got an idea where the Yankees baseball team is going to a chiropractor.
Okay.
So we could go with that.
Sure.
But do you guys think that could work? A movie that's bizarre enough that you can just rapid fire machine gun jokes? Because it's so fucking irritating having to write a plot. And then these assholes on the internet still tell us there is no plot. When how much fucking time do we spend on the plot of Sharks? Like 2 fucking hours? Seriously though, we put in work to that thing. So, Mateo, do you think it could work? A movie that is just so bizarre there's nothing but jokes hung on it?
I don't know if everybody has ever attempted something like that, honestly.
I don't know if that would pan out the way you think it would.
Just kidding. I got Keanu Reeves in a fucking dog suit with Eric Stoltz on the cover. It's time to watch Freaks, you fucks. This intro doesn't make sense because he introduced the movie to me and I actually don't know about it.
Pass in the DVD.
Oh.
Pass in the DVD.
Oh, so what should we write for the script writers who are frustrated because you can't get up? Oh my God!
Freaked with Randy Quaid.
I thought Eric Stoltz.
No.
Quasimodo! Lighten up, Coog. You're talking to the original tag team of ugly pukes here. Look at this outfit. Come on. Step into the light.
Okay. Here I come.
Oh, jeez. Well, it's not so revolting.
Welcome to another episode of MaJaMa Jams, and today is a good one. I am excited because we have just unearthed a gem that I can't believe in 14 years of friendship Mateo did not show us.
One of the reasons is because I only had the DVD for 3 years, but that's a whole different story. The movie is Freaked, and it's co-written, co-directed, co-starred by Alex Winter, the better half, or the shorter half rather, of Bill and Ted's couple, duo. The story is very simple. The whole movie is a flashback, pretty much, where Alex Winter plays an actor who is hired as a testimonial of a questionable product, and he stumbles into a freak show, actually a freak factory, where Randy Quaid makes ordinary people into freaks, and chaos ensues. That's it.
Nice.
Thank God we got that boring crap out of the way. So, this was an absolute blast. What I love about this is that from the very opening credits, which you called, I loved...
What do you call them?
Opening credits.
Collect. The opening credits... now, you were saying, before we started filming this, you were saying that this was based on an old MTV sketch or something?
Something like that, yes.
And I bring that up because the credits are everything that is gorgeous and perfect and beautiful and artistic about early 90s MTV/Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon bumpers between the episodes.
Animation, and I believe a song that was Mr. Henry Rollins, if I recognize the voice correctly. I actually looked in the credits because I wanted to find out what it was. I liked it a lot. It says Henry Rollins on the back, and I believe I recognized his voice. Either way, a kick-ass rock song with animations very much in tune with the spirit and the style of it aesthetically. A lot of drippy drip and glop and that type of shaky like sketch drawn thing. And then from the first frame of the talk show, I knew that this was going to be great. I'm trying to think of the first. I think they had a joke about like the flying gimp has been captured.
Yes.
We repeat, the flying gimp has been destroyed. You may return to your homes.
I just knew I don't even know where to begin. To me, this was everything. Okay, here's where I'm going to begin. Is the how I wanted to ask you this reception? Did this was released theatrically? Did people know about it? Did anyone care? Did this?
Yes, it tanked spectacularly.
I knew you were going to say that. You know why? Because it's original.
Yes.
Because it's original.
Because
Now, I'm not saying no successful movies are original, but I knew that there was no way this would have gotten.
It's original, and it was 1993, where people were saying. Okay, there was a dual factor. One is the fact that it was 1993. People were not really used to this kind of off-the-wall comedies because it's not even a Zucker Abrahams.
Especially as a feature-length movie too.
Yes, exactly.
And well, yet oddly, in retrospect, it seems like completely of that time period, which is interesting. I feel like when I
Yes.
think to this oddball, I think
But
of
maybe
early
not
90s.
for the masses.
And the test audiences apparently hated it. They had to cut a lot of stuff. And
Test audiences are literal cancer.
Yes. And the other thing is that a lot of people were expecting kind of like, not exactly, but kind of like another Bill and Ted. Or at least on that vein.
Well, I have to imagine this gorgeous piece of oddball originality only got made because of the strength of Alex Winter being
I imagine so, yes.
Bill. Jesus, I almost crucify me for that one.
Was this actually after 2 or 1?
After 2, yes.
So, okay.
A lot of Jim Carrey facial, especially in the beginning, facial vibes. Reminds me of the dude. You guys know what Lazy Town is?
Yes.
Reminds me of that dude, the dude with black hair from Lazy Town.
Yeah.
But very much Jim Ace Ventura facial eyebrows, smiles, weird.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, look. Before we get into the visual, gorgeous orgy feast of everything I want to talk about loving with this movie, just to follow up, was it because it seems like it was a hard sell? So was it specifically because of the stardom that they made this? Because I feel like this would be an uphill battle to get this green lit
Once
to
again,
be
how do you
made to
make
be.
something like
like,
how do you
yes.
pitch something?
He must have been riding on freshly being off
I'm
of
sure
Bill.
because it was
Ted. Bill. It's Bill. Of course I know it's Bill. I would have a movie nerd wouldn't know that right off the top of his head.
This is Bill. This is Ted.
Now that I think about it, Keanu
Now,
looks
wait a
more like
second.
Ted.
Think
Which
of
one is Bill
Alex
Wilson?
A.B. and Keanu K.T.
That actually somewhat works.
So
So-
and Ked.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
So it was pretty much that's how this
Yes.
got made, and it was still a struggle to.
Apparently, yes, it was, and rumor has it that the producer got fired because he was producing too many weird movies. Well, look at this, and this one also in an era where they were still probably honoring original ideas. Whereas now it's almost impossible having an original idea, a movie that is an original idea, and when some movie slips through the crack and comes out, everybody says, "Oh, it's an original idea. It works." And I say, "Yes."
Shit! Paralyzed? Lock! The club! What the hell?
Stop in name of Eli Selassie. Don't move, Babylon,
Good work, I.
How could you not fall in love with a movie where the villain's henchmen are two anthropomorphic Jamaican eyeballs? How? How?
Because they were smoking a blunt, right?
Yes, one was smoking.
And the eyes were getting ready. Oh, no.
That one must have been practical, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the
Everything was
most
practical, except for
important
the
movies
couple of
ever
transformation and the tongue of
Yeah.
the frogman, but everything was practical.
Listen,
Oh.
this is the highest tier possible. This movie. Who the fuck would greenlit? I want to follow up Bill and Ted with a freak show movie where Randy Quaid has Rasta eyeball henchmen. The Rasta eyeball henchmen are everything. I wish every movie had the balls to do things like
The
that.
eyeballs?
Nice. Nice.
Thank you.
Nobody move, nobody get hurt.
Out of my way!
chock full of holes, man.
Apparently, it wasn't very easy. It cost about $12 million back then, which almost entirely went to special effects, and apparently $1 million to Keanu Reeves.
You mean Alex Winter?
No.
No, this is beautiful because you were right that I wish I hadn't read the back.
I know.
Because I knew. I mean, it kind. So
No.
Do you know who Keanu? Do you know who Keanu was?
Dog Boy.
I am Ortiz, the dog boy, leader of the freaks.
Kind of like the top dog.
Welcome to hell, Rick.
Yo, I was trying to fucking guess who he was.
And he's so good. He's
Yes.
so good. Why is Keanu so good?
Yes.
But who sees this as like, well, at the time, I'm sure it was a risk, but who sees it as a calculated investment to put so much money into it? Like, I mean, you hear all these stories about everything that gets made, but what makes, or maybe it was pre-established.
That was also the same year of Jurassic Park and Last Action Hero. And one was a huge success, and the other one was a horrible bomb.
Yeah, Jurassic Park flopped hard.
Yes.
How the fuck did you write this? Because on one hand, there's kind of no plot, and on the other hand, there's kind of one of the most berserk plots ever.
Yes.
Like, on one hand, the plot fits right here, and it's just an excuse to machine gun jokes. On the other hand, okay, there's an aging, arrogant teen star in the public eye that's meant to be a spokesperson for a potentially dangerous toxic chemical who goes to an island because of it, meets a, like, protesting hippie granola girl, gets sidetracked, decides to go to a freak show where everyone gets mutated, where they get stuck, so they form a bond with the freaks and then have to figure a way out because there's a, like, what?
Look how many movies get fucking away with this shit, and we worry so much about adding so much fucking depth to the plot.
I did think to myself, this is the movie we always talked about, where just give it a brief spine and then go crazy with the jokes.
Stupids takes the cake.
But this one I felt was funnier.
Yes.
Yes.
Not that I completely dislike the Stupids.
Like, here's the ball within the first 2 seconds, and it's rolling, and you're just gonna pick up steam from that point on.
I don't disagree, it's just that I felt like this one really knocked it out of the park.
Sounds like you disagree.
So, how do I start to get in, Matteo, to the things that I love? Let's talk about one of the earliest things where I believe Mr. Winter... What's his character's name? Coogan. I knew I had the coup.
That's his last name. Brian
Coogan?
Brian Coogan.
Ricky Coogan.
Ricky Coogan. That's a great name for a former child star. So Ricky is having his transformation, and he goes into the classic Looney Tunes ball of dust as it's happening, and out pops a T-Rex.
No, those are the two.
Those are the two people.
Yes.
Okay.
You're really gonna rub that stuff on us and mutate our body parts?
Correct.
Well, then could you give me like a really big Rodney?
I'm a mad scientist, pal. Not a miracle worker. Put that thing away!
But same scene. The
Yes.
two, his love interest and his best friend. The mutation scene, they go into a Looney Tunes ball of dust as they're mutating. A T-Rex pops out.
A claymation T-Rex.
A claymation
Yes,
T-Rex pops
by
out.
by the Kyoto brothers.
I'm in. I'm here for your movie. I'm here for your movie. I
Not
am
only
here.
that, there's a T-Rex. There is
Gumby.
Cyclops from
Ray Harryhausen and
Sinbad.
yes, Sinbad.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Guide me. Tell how do I list everything? Everything needs to be talked about. Everything is beautiful. I don't know where to start.
This reminds me of Nothing But Trouble.
I've never seen it.
Really fucking
Yes.
weird
You love it.
movie.
Yes.
You owned it and you watched it.
I do own
frequently.
it.
So do I. On Laserdisc.
But just really fucking weird, but imaginative and special effects and
Yes.
some monsters and some makeup. This reminds me of that kind of vibe too. Kind of weird, kind of awkward, still funny.
As
throw some
funny
jokes in there.
as this.
It's
Well,
I didn't. There was a few points that made me laugh out loud, but most of it was kind of in my head, like, oh, funny
For this or for nothing?
For this,
Because that was actually my next question
Nothing's
before
fucking weird.
before I start ranting endlessly was before I Godzilla stomp all over this thing with my enthusiasm, which is my only functioning role in this trio. Did you guys think it was as consistently funny as I did? Because I feel like I cackled. I LOL'd more than you guys did, and I understand as comedians a lot of times it's like your brain goes, "That's funny," like the Jerry joke. Like, did you what is it? Do you think that was funny? No, that. I'm certainly glad you enjoyed it. I'm sorry.
That's funny. I'm certainly glad you enjoyed it.
Yep. Shared language. I expect you to know immediately.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
So did you didn't find you loved it, but you didn't find it as
it didn't produce the laugh out louds, but I felt it was.
But you loved the spirit.
Clever throughout, and I felt it would be a movie that I would completely lose my shit over for all the monsters and the characters.
But not necessarily. You don't think it necessarily succeeded with the machine gunning of jokes. Not that it didn't machine gun them, but that they all hit for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mateo?
Yeah, because unfortunately, like every movie, at a certain point, you almost you see it. They say, "Oh shit, we have a plot. We have to do something with the story." And so whenever it happens like that, there is kind of like a shift in tone in the movie when they say, "Okay, we have all these jokes and stuff and everything," and then they say, "Oh, we have all of this loose ends that we have to pull them together."
Yeah.
So there are, but I have to say it's way above the average in terms of quota of jokes that hit the target.
Why
versus?
I also think that it's a gorgeous sense of humor.
We got a job to do. Let's do it and keep quiet, okay? Oops. Now look, from now on, no more screw-ups, okay?
Styrofoam cup.
It just has a beautiful, open, weird, free sense of humor. I don't know. I guess maybe it appealed to the utter cornball. I don't even want to call it corn. I don't know. I'm just in love with this. Maybe more than you guys are in like 3,000 times. But the joke where you're not. They say you're not. Randy Quaid, who we have to talk about also. Randy Quaid reveals he has a shit ton of the toxic chemical, and they say you're not supposed to have that.
Behold, the Tasty Freaks machine!
My God! He's using Cycler 24!
Hey, you're not supposed to have that stuff! Well, then I guess I'm not supposed to have these either!
That joke made me happy to be fucking alive.
That was a very funny.
You guys should guide me because like I love this movie. This is why originality doesn't exist. Mateo, guide me through this, please. Break it down by plot or come up with different scenes. We're talking about the Kyotos. We're talking about Randy. You got to guide me through this so I can spew with some sort of initiative.
Mostly as I guess it is pet project of Alex Winter, who has shown a very good command both of directing, shared with Tom
Servo.
Factoid.
Yes.
Factoid.
Tom. I know. I'm sorry, Tom.
Oh yes, you told me before.
He told you?
Yeah.
What a cool little factoid.
Tom Stern.
So Tom Stern, Mateo looked up before the show, was a director.
He's a director
on the Toys That Made Us, which my brother and I, being toy geeks, are just utterly obsessed with.
Who's your brother?
Alex directed, co-directed.
Co-directed.
Not wrote it.
Yes,
Co-wrote.
co-wrote it, co-directed, and co-produced it.
Also, think about.
Okay, that makes it more interesting.
Think about the fact that, hey, Bill, you have a little bit of a buzz with this Bill and Ted thing going on. Would you like to do anything in Hollywood? Yes, I would. And you make this.
Seems almost like a Freddy Got Fingered. Just like I will make what I want to make.
Yes.
Here you go.
He did it. He did it.
This is my chance to.
I'm being creative. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have some work to do. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Sausages, sausages.
Thank you, Matthew. You guided the enthusiasm. This feels like it shouldn't exist. This feels like it shouldn't exist. That's why I adore it. It feels like no one would have ever greenlit this in their right mind.
It's almost an anomaly.
It makes a lot more sense now that something like this could get off the ground with that kind of a budget, with that kind of special effects and team on board. that it was him fresh off the two Bill and Ted's with a name, also writing and directing.
But yeah, it's the same as Tom. He's got the it boy status. What do you want to do? Oh, I'll show you what I want to do. Okay.
Tom Hanks does That Thing You Do. Alex Winter does Freaked.
Now I utterly adore That Thing You
I did not
Do.
know that either.
Yeah, there is a
Wrote and directed.
Wrote and directed.
It's such a good movie.
And pretty much he said it. At the time he was coming fresh of 2 back-to-back Oscars, so pretty much he went to the production company and said, you know, I want to do this, and I really want to do this. Okay.
I love it. But that's just another great example. What I was going to say is that I adore That Thing You Do, but that is a slam dunk, feel good, cuddly wuddly. Not to put it down. I love it, love it. But look at this!
Yes, that's the thing. Tom Hanks had in him That Thing You Do, and you understand it. It's a Tom Hanks movie.
The DVD?
Yes. It was
really stuck in there.
Yes. It was a very...
I don't know what's worse, VHS or DVD.
Very painful.
Laserdisc's probably the worst.
It wasn't. They weren't producing Laserdisc
Thank God.
when it came out. Yes.
All right, Tom. You gotta pick what medium and format you want.
But yeah, no, you see that a movie like That Thing You Do, you easily understand that it came out of somebody like Tom Hanks. Mm-hmm. You see, is a very friendly movie. Is
and very warm.
Yes, exactly, and
very fun
and very smart.
God, I love that.
And this one is a movie that you say, okay, I can see perfectly a guy who plays his grandma in Bill and Ted's.
How about a kiss for your dear old granny, Bill? Come on.
Let's talk about the cast. Great cast here. Let's get into Randy Quaid. You brought it up afterwards. He's fucking good. He is a great character actor. I mean, Uncle Eddie is hilarious and iconic, so it's not like Cousin Eddie. Thank you. That always throws me off. Who is he to Clark?
He is Beverly D'Angelo's sister's husband, so he's his brother-in-law through marriage.
So why is it cousin?
He's Beverly D'Angelo's cousin's husband, so he's a cousin-in-law through marriage.
Oh. You sure about that?
No, but I'm pretty close.
Yes. William Sadler, who played Death.
You may challenge me to a contest, but if you lose, you will remain here in the afterlife forever.
What if we win?
No one has ever won.
Who is he?
He is the
businessman,
the CEO of the EES, the laughing guy, pretty much.
Okay.
And also, extra fun fact, bonus point fun fact. The stand-in for Keanu Reeves in that movie, since apparently Keanu Reeves had other projects, so his time on the set was very limited. So they were doing the blocking with other actors.
Jeez, he's probably filmed the fucking 2 hours?
Probably. Well, it depends on how long it would take to apply the whole thing. But the standing of Keanu Reeves at the time was an unknown Johnny Knoxville.
What?
Yep.
This is great. This is exactly why people come to the show.
Knoxville goes that far back to oh.
He was just like probably 18 or something. Just like.
How'd you learn that?
I make stuff.
He just knows it, man.
Yes, I invent stuff.
That's crazy.
Yes, but it's it shows
All right,
that if you try and 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 try, and then you have a hammer smash onto your balls, you become famous.
Yeah. It's that easy.
Do you guys want to sit there and tell me that this isn't the most MaJaMa humor movie ever made? The jokes in this are just goofball, absurd, left field. All right.
I like the airplane explosion at the beginning.
Here we are, Ernie. Santa Spam. World famous for loud music and hot sex. It is? Give me a few hours. Sure glad that wasn't our plane.
Okay.
See?
Also, little boy.
Yes!
Archie,
The little
Frankie.
troll, the obsessed fan, who's obsessed with him from his role as a sitcom as a kid.
Don't cry, Stewie. Deep down, I'm still good.
And it's funny because he falls down the airplane. They show that he's okay.
Hey, I'm okay.
The old guy in the wheelchair falls out of the airplane. Fuck him. Just like this.
Well, it's another interesting discussion about the rules and tones of worlds, even when worlds are, I got a way to do it, you son of a bitch. Even it's gonna suck because we might not use this one, but the discussion from earlier, the Wayne's World discussion, our
Yes.
classic back and forth about the joke of who's going to be at Wayne stock.
Who's going to be at Waynestock?
Aerosmith and Pearl Jam.
Who else?
Me. And Wayne. And
Van Halen.
wow, Van Halen, who else?
Yeah, who else?
An old man fashioning a kayak out of a log?
What?
No!
So, me and Mateo have had this ongoing discussion about. He read the script initially and says it works better on paper because you actually see written in the description. Wayne looks over and sees an old man fashioning a kayak out of wood. Wayne, an old man fashioning a kayak out of wood, and it's that repetition, a classic trope, that makes it so funny. And that when you see it, it doesn't necessarily play as well. One of the reasons we were talking about is because even within the boundaries of Wayne's World and how absurd and how, again, the Austin Powers, Mike Myers type humor, anything can come in, there's still no reason for that man to be making a canoe at the radio station. The same type
It
of
would be
thing.
funnier if there was something that could practically be happening in a radio station.
That's exactly what he said. Like if a janitor was.
Or at this point, as you were saying, if they want to do a joke like that, there should have been like, say, like a poster of I don't know, travel agency or something like that, where come to Sweden.
Making a demonstration.
Yeah, see a man doing this,
Yeah,
and
it's not at that
everything.
point.
He reads that.
It's not, but you're probably the only man that could sway me away from adoring one of my favorite absurd jokes of all time because you make valid points.
Because as I told you, in return, the thing that to me it works and is the same joke, but in verbal form, is in Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Marie was a woman with a prodigious appetite for all things covered with frosting, but her expensive tastes made her the target of much criticism.
Why?
Because, Sherman, during Marie's reign, the common people of France were exceedingly poor.
Got any bread? No! I'm exceedingly poor.
Why does it work so well? It always works.
It's because it's the absurdity of saying exceedingly poor.
The specificity repeated. Right.
Is repeated in a completely different ambiance. Let's say.
So I say all that to say that even the most absurd comedies like Naked Gun still create rules, and I guess I was happy because I see what you mean about kind of shuffling along, like, oh shit, we've got a plot to get back to, and yet I felt like everything made sense within this world, which is probably why jokes that might have otherwise fallen flat had me cackling, because for this movie, that stuff would happen.
I think that one of the things that the movie suffers, and I would love, it would never happen probably, but I would love to see kind of like a director's cut, is that at a certain point they say, oh, plot. So how do you get to the plot? You cut all the fat, so all the jokes have to go, and then you get to the end as soon as possible.
Shit.
We wouldn't see a comedy like this nowadays.
No.
With the type of humor
Let's
and
change
type of
that.
comedy.
Yeah.
Read that.
One of the best unknown movies ever made, Entertainment Weekly.
Entertainment Weekly. Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on, man.
A lot of love, a lot of work went into this.
Yes.
And
So-
once again, to bring it all together, you can't make a good or so bad it's good movie if you're cynical. It will not happen. It will not fucking happen. Show me an example. You can't. Love makes movies flourish. No matter what the genre, no matter what, if you're going for cornball or good, love means everything.
Yeah.
Means everything to a movie. And you could tell, like you said, Alex, I think, loved this. And
Yes.
now I do too.
Oh.
Would you recommend this to people? Yes!
Thank you for destroying my microphone. In conclusion,
I wish I could remember my favorite 35 jokes from this. In conclusion, Mateo changed my life today by showing me what I will now refer to as Alex Winter's 90s version of Freddy Got Fingered. Oh, I hope you bitches lost money on this, because we got it now.
Which is probably...
Mateo has it.
Yes.
We don't.
No disrespect to Freddy Got Fingered, but I think that this
shit.
one
This
is
one's coming.
slightly wider in terms of audience.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
It's a Freddy Got Fingered is just that you have to be a Tom Green fan.
Yes.
To appreciate everything that he does, and sometimes probably I'm pretty sure.
Even
that,
if you are, you're...
Yeah, I'm sure that a few of the Tom Green fans are like, what? This
Truth
one is a
be
little
told,
more.
Also fucking with a little kid. In both movies.
Truth be told, my first time in the theater, I'm almost ashamed to admit this, I saw all the weird scenes highlighted in the Freddy marketing. I expected there to be a logical conclusion as to how he arrived at that point. So I must admit, even my first time, I was like, he's just going from scene to scene. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing this. There's no purpose for it. And I was still like, okay, but I remember being like, oh, okay.
Right.
So yes, absolutely. So, in summation, we'll go in a circle. This is probably the most important movie in the history of cinema. A movie that makes The Godfather look like the boring, slow-moving dog shit that it is. Mateo?
Yes. Matthew?
I agree with Mateo.
Put that thing away!
I'm here for your movie. I'm here for your movie. I
And
am
not only
here.
that, there's a T-Rex, there is
Gumby.
there
And Pokey.
there is the Cyclops.
Gumby
from,
jerking off.
Yes. And
I missed that.
There is the Cyclops.
He's jerking off?
Yes.